Welcome back to another video with your boy Brandon. Saturday door knocking. Here we go. So sorry for the crazy introduction, you guys. Just have a little energy today, and I wanted to talk about something super important, you guys. Like everybody, I literally just had this happen to me on Facebook, right? This guy reached out to me and said, Brandon, I am so ready. I see that you're posting about your multifamily properties and, you know, fixing them up and getting under contract and flipping properties. And I'm so ready. I'm going to start in October, November for sure. And I said, okay, well, starting is the hardest part. That really is the hardest part. And I don't know this guy. I've talked to him once or twice, and I'm not trying to down on anybody, but I've been doing this long enough, right? Started when I was 25, I'm 31, almost 32. I've been doing this long enough to notice a pattern of inaction. And I don't know if it's fear. I don't know if it's analysis paralysis. I don't know exactly what it is, but for some reason, people just have the hardest time taking action. They have the hardest time doing the thing, right? And I don't know what this is. I not to say that I don't struggle with stuff, right? Like do you think I enjoy getting out of bed every weekend for the last 9 months at this point and door knocking people? No. Have I done it? Almost every single weekend, yes. And of course, there's been times where I haven't, right? I've worked on my flip, right, which is now live. And I'm going to stop by and make a video for you guys, a finished product on market now. There's a difference between not wanting to do something and, prioritizing, right? So, and at some point, like, you just got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, is door knocking, is cold calling, is real estate, is financial freedom a priority to me? And if it's really, truly important to you, you'll do the thing, right? And, a lot of people, they're like, oh, actually, a couple days ago, I had somebody say, Brandon, I see you doing all the door knocking and all the cold calling. How do you do it? And I'm like, with my phone, with my knuckles, like I knock on the door. Like, what do you mean? How do I do it? And she said, well, what CRM? And again, not to pick on anybody, but she's like, what CRM do you use? And I was like, my phone. What are you talking about? Like, you don't need a CRM. And I mean, yes, is a CRM helpful for when you're, constantly reaching out to people and when you're actively trying to market to people? Yes, having a CRM is great. But I said, hey, if you're just getting started, don't get trapped in the minutia, right? Like, don't focus on that stuff. The thing you really need to do is pick up the phone and start dialing. That's the most important thing. Right? Is a script important? Yes. But here's the thing. You're never going to have the best script. You're never going to be confident enough to say it once you have it. You'll never have the best CRM. You're never going to be ready. You just need to do it. And yes, is it important to have these things? Do you want to know what you're going to say before you cold call somebody? Yes, you'll sound like an idiot if you don't know what you're saying. But just imperfect action. That's going to be the title. Imperfect action. Do I have the best scripts? No. Do I have the best close rate? No. Do I have the best CRM? No. In fact, I don't even have one. I use So what I do is you'll get a list, right? Probably from a title company. You can get it from PropWire or PropStream or whatever thing you're using, right? You can get a list, and basically what you do is you skip trace it, right? And then when you skip trace it, you get the data. You put it into a spreadsheet. Basically, the spreadsheet's been good enough for me, right? Like, I have a couple blank columns next to the person's address, name, and phone number and all that stuff. And you know what I do? I just say, call attempt 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Like okay, I've knocked on the door, or I've called, right? I've called, X amount of times. And if I eventually don't have the right number, I just go door knock it, right? And leave some information. So, what do I say? I mean, it depends, right? It, like all good things, right? Like any good attorney will tell you, it depends, right? Like if I'm calling tired landlords, I'm not going to pitch them the same way I would pitch a foreclosure. If I'm calling foreclosures, I would not pitch them the same way I pitch a probate deal, right? So all of these are different. So you just need to pick a lane. And let me tell you guys, they all work. I have wholesaled every single type of deal there is, right? Probate, foreclosure, tired landlord, eviction, water shutoff, code violation, right? Like all of these lists work. And I've gone through that same thing too. I'm like, oh, what's the best list? There is no best list. There isn't, right? It's a numbers game, right? This is sales. At the end of the day, it's a combination of sales and marketing, right? Marketing is inbound, right? So that's, website and SEO and paid ads or whatever, right? But so that's marketing, and that's important too, right? But if you don't have any money, don't worry about that. You can only focus on inbound or outbound, which is you cold calling and knocking, right? So first of all, do you have any money? No. Okay, you have two options, right? Cold calling, door knocking. Both of those are very cheap. Do you have time? No. Well, then maybe door knocking is not the way to go because it takes time to drive to each property, right? Is it more effective than cold calling? Maybe it is. It kind of depends, right? I mean, I'm door knocking and I cold call. They both work. But sometimes, I was working with another investor when I got started, and I cold called probates 5 days a week, 8 hours a day for 2 years. 2 years, and that's all I did. I didn't do anything else. I cold called probates. And if you don't know what a probate is, it's when somebody passes away and then their state goes into probate. They have, kids that don't know what to do. It's crazy. There's lawyers involved, and you got to know some stuff. But I did that for 2 years straight, and it worked. And I've door knocked, and that's worked. And I've cold called other lists, and that's worked, right? So it all works. But again, the title of today's video is Imperfect Action, right? There has been deals that I've lost because I didn't look the right way, because I didn't say the right thing, because I had the wrong tone with the words that I said, right? There's so many different variables, right? And there's been deals that I've 100% gotten. I've had people thank me. I had a guy take me out to a steak dinner. Look it up. Portland, Oregon, Ringside Steakhouse. Like $100 a plate. This guy was so grateful that we were able to help him sell his property quickly and efficiently and get him the price that he wanted, that he took me out to a steak dinner to thank me. Doesn't happen all the time, but it has happened. So I just want to let you guys know that you'll never have everything that you need to get started. The most important thing is just to start. You can boil it down, right? If you have money or you don't. If you have time or you don't. If you want single family or multifamily, right? If you have no money, then you're looking for seller finance. If you have money, then you can, go conventional. If you know a hard money person, then you can go buy pieces of, POS properties. If you don't, then you have to buy something that is financeable, right? All of these things, I should build. Comment down below, give me a like if you guys want me to build like a template, right? I'm sure you guys have seen that before. Have money? Yes or no, right? Have time? Yes or no, right? You know what I mean? Like one of those charts or diagrams or whatever. And that'll kind of like help force you into an area to start either cold calling, door knocking, or marketing to. So if that's a problem for you guys, let me know. Let me see if I can help you guys out, right? Like if you just want somebody to tell you what to do, I'll pick something for you and it'll work if you work it, right? Oh, actually, I talked to somebody again yesterday. And I said, what will you do? And she said, well, I've done door knocking. And I said, great. how do you feel about cold calling? Like, do you have some internal resistance about picking up the phone and calling a stranger? And she said, yeah, I'm not really good at cold calls. Then don't do them. If you won't do it, don't do it. Like, if you're having to, and I heard this at an old job of mine, and it was very, very poetic. If you're not willing to lean into the wood chipper, then don't. If you're not a cold call person, then don't cold call. Don't waste any time with that. Go straight to door knocking. If you suck at sales completely, then you better get really good at marketing and find somebody like me who's willing to take a phone call or willing to go knock a door. I'm not as good with marketing, so I just focus on the things that I'm good at, which is sales, which is, going out and talking to people, right? Or on the phone. Either way, that's the end video. That's the end of the video for Imperfect Action. Please, for the love of God, guys, just do something. That's the most important part. You'll fail. Even if you're 99%, 100% ready, you're still going to fail. So just go out there, fail forward. Peace.